All right, guys, so this is the second video in my Programming Fundamentals series, and this video is on variables, what they are, why we use them, and so forth. So variables are labels that are used in computer programming to store a value. So for example, x equals 10, x is the label, and 10 is the value. So now in your code, instead of calling 10, you can call x. And this is really handy because if you have a program that has 10,000 lines of code and you use the variable x 200 times, instead of having to change the value 200 times, you can just go in your code wherever you declare it and change it one time. So it's really handy to use variables, and you're going to use them all the time. Another um, thing I want to go over is what are the parts of a variable? And essentially, there are three parts. Um, you have a data type, you have a name, and then a value. Now, in some programming languages like Java, you have to explicitly say what the data type is when you make your variable. In other programming languages like Python, you don't have to explicitly say what your data type is. Now, the data types are, some of them are strings, and these can be words, phrases, a single character, char, which is just a character, integers, which is a whole number like 10, but not a decimal. So it's whole numbers only, no decimals. A double and a float are decimal numbers, so it could be 10.5. So when you declare a variable, let's say you're doing it in Java, and when I do the individual programming tutorials, I'll break this down a little further, but let's say you're going to do it in Java, and you say, I want to have a variable with a name. So you go string name equals Bob. So now this is the data type. This is the name of the variable, and it could be anything. I just use name as because it is storing a name, and then this is the value. Now I want to go over one more thing with variables, and that is just something that is kind of just known with computer programming. When you name a variable, it can be as many words as you want, but we usually always lowercase the first word, and then any word after that, we uppercase the first letter and leave no spaces. So for example, if you have a variable called weight equals 100, let's say it's weight of the bird. So you want to change this name to weight, to bird weight. You say bird, capital W, weight equals 100. So you just don't capitalize the first letter of the first word, and then any word after that, no spaces, and capitalize the first letter. And it's just kind of customary. It's what I was always taught that's used in the field. So just to sum this up, I'm just gonna draw a picture here, a stick figure. His name is Bob. He is going to a job fair. At that job fair, he gets a name tag. In his name tag, we have his name, and then, like I said, this is a name tag. So in our program, the variable is going to be, the name of the variable is going to be name tag, it's going to equal the value, which is Bob. The data type for this is a string. So like I said, this is the name, value, data type. We can change the name of this variable or the value in our code, and we can use the variable name anywhere throughout our code and only have to assign that value one time. So the next video I'm going to be doing in this series is logical operators. You need to understand those to understand if statements and how conditions work. So guys, thank you for watching. Tap the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up there.